Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video I'm going to show you how to make our cozy granny spring bag. I just love how it turned out. It's a wonderful size. It measures about 17 inches long and is about 22 inches all the way around. So it's a really nice size bag that you can use for lots of different things. Yes, it's great for shopping, carrying your yarn in, a project bag, a book bag, but it also makes a really great beach bag because the handle is big enough you can slip your arm in and carry your things to the beach, but also has these holes so you can shake out the sand. But it's just a beautiful bag, and this yarn is absolutely gorgeous. This is Premier Puzzle Shimmer, and if you remember, we made a shawl not that long ago out of this same colorway called Trivia, and it turned out just beautiful. It was the Shimmering Diamonds shawl, and I thought I had one more skein left, and so I thought I'm going to make the bag out of this so you could make a matching bag to go with your shawl if you wanted to. But I just thought it turned out just beautiful. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer in this or not, but it has a shimmer and it is beautiful. And as always, I'll put Premier's yarn link underneath my video so you can go and look at all the beautiful puzzle yarns and the shimmer yarns and the solid puzzle yarns. Puzzle is one of my favorite yarns if you hadn't figured that part out yet. Anywho, this is just a really fun and easy bag. Has 5 rows of solid double crochet, 5 rows of our granny stitch, 5 rows of solid, 5 rows of granny stitch, and then we just add on our handle at the top. And it's a nice sturdy handle. All right, so whether you're going to the market or to the beach, to church, or just over to your friend's house for a crochet night, we've got you covered. Alrighty, now you can find, as always, the complete pattern with lots of pictures on my blog, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make my cozy granny spring bag, I used Premier Puzzle Shimmer. It is a bulky number 5 yarn, and you're going to need about 4 ounces. Okay, now you can use any of the Premier Puzzle yarns for this that are the bulky number 5. They have solids, they have variegated striping, and they also have shimmer. So I'll put that link for Premier underneath this video and you can click it and go look at all the beautiful puzzle yarns. And remember, you can use any bulky number 5 yarn for this project. We're going to be stitching with our J-hook, which is a 6 millimeter. And then you need a needle to weave in your ends and a pair of scissors. Now, I didn't add any buttons or clasps or flowers or any additional embellishments to this pattern. But of course, you can. You can always add buttons, you can always add flowers, butterflies, or whatever kind of appliques that you want to. That's totally up to you. But I kind of liked this yarn so much with its sparkle in it. And I don't know if you can see that shimmer in this light, but I love it so much that I'm letting the yarn be the star of this project. So we're going to begin with our slip knot. And we're going to chain 32 chains. I do recommend that this beginning chain, you chain just a little bit loose. You don't want it to be all puckered up at the bottom of your bag. All right, so loosely chain 32 chains. All right, so I have chained loosely 32 chains. And we're going to begin by placing a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and then we stitched a double crochet, and now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the chains, working all the way across our row. we're forming the bottom of the bag, and then we're going to work our way up. So we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across our row. We began in the 4th chain from the hook, and remember to count your chain 3 that we skipped as your first double crochet. And so you're going to only have 30 double crochets. All right? And what we're going to do next is we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work on what's called the opposite side of the chain. All right? And so we'll go right in that first chain and stitch a double crochet. And then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in each of those chains, working back across the row. And again, we're forming the bottom of our bag. So again, we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of those chains across. We're just working on the other side of the chain. You'll notice it'll pull up right here. That's exactly what we want it to do. Only I'm going to push it out because that's going to be the outside of our bag. All right, so we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of those chains across, and then we'll join to that first chain 3 from the front of the row. So we moved to the opposite or other side of the chain, and we stitched all the way up, stitching 1 double crochet in each stitch. So we have 30 on the front side and 30 on the back side of our chain. So we have 60 double crochets. We're going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And now you want to push it forward. And if you don't know which side is the front, the side that your string is on where we started, that's the inside. And this is the outside of our bag. And what we're going to do now is just stitch 1 double crochet in each of those 60 stitches, working all the way around, and join back to our chain 3. All right, so 1 double crochet all the way around in each of those 60 stitches, and then we'll join back to our chain 3. So I have stitched 1 double crochet in each of my double crochets around. So again, I have 60 double crochets. I'm going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 2 for 3 more rows, and that will give us 5 rows of solid double crochet. So we join to our chain 3, we chained 3, and then we double crochet in each of the double crochets around. And we're going to repeat row 2 for 3 more rows. And again, that's going to give us 5 rows of double crochet, and make sure that you have 60 double crochets on each of those rows. So I have completed those 3 additional rows. So I have a total of 5 rows of double crochet, and each row has 60 double crochets. And remember to count your chain 3 as your first double crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the granny portion, or the granny stitch portion. So we've joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. we're going to chain 2, we're going to skip the next 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. And then we'll repeat this, working all the way around. Chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet in the next 3. All right, we're going to repeat this all the way around our bag, and then we'll join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 6, which again is 1 double crochet in the next 3, chain 2, skip 2, and you're going to have 12 sets of the 3 double crochet, chain 2. All right, when you get back around, we're going to join. Here's my 3 double crochets, chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2 double crochets and join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch. Then we'll slip stitch in the next 2 double crochets, then slip stitch in the chain 2 space and chain 3. And that is the way that row 6 should look. So now we're ready for row 7. So we're going to stitch 2 more double crochets because our chain 3 counts as our first. So it gives us 3 double crochets in our chain 2 space and chain 2. Then we'll go to our next chain 2 space and stitch 3 double crochets. And chain 2. And we'll repeat this, working all the way around our row. 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space and chain 2, just like you would for a normal granny square. And again, we're going to repeat it all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 7, and again we have 12 sets of 3 double crochet, chain 2. You will notice that when you joined to your chain 3 and slip stitched in your 2 double crochets, then slip stitched in your chain 2 space and chain 3, that you've traveled a little bit. And as you do the granny square rows, you will travel a little bit, because here we joined for row 7, then we're going to do row 8, row 9, and row 10, and you're going to end up moving across when you join. That's exactly the way it's supposed to be. All right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 7 for 3 more rows so that we have a total of 5 rows of our granny square stitch rows. So we're going to repeat row 7 for 3 more rows. I have now completed my bag through row 10. I have 5 rows of solid double crochets and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of our granny square stitches. One thing you will notice, like I was saying, is that you're going to travel across and you won't be at this end anymore, okay? That's just the normal way it does. Don't worry about it, okay? We're just going to begin and do row 11 where we're at this chain 2 space, okay? And it's really simple. In this chain 2 space, we're only going to double crochet 1 time because our chain 3 counts as 1. On this particular row, we're only going to place 2 double crochets in the chain 2 spaces instead of 3 like we've been doing on the granny square rows. We're going to double crochet in the 3 double crochets and then we're going to place 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. And this is very important because we want to make sure that on row 11 we're back to having 60 double crochets. All right, so 1 double crochet in each of the 3 double crochets, there we go, and 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat this, there we go, all the way around so that we have a solid row of double crochet. There we go. All right, so 1 double crochet in each of the 3 double crochets and 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. And again, this is going to bring us back to a solid row of double crochets, and we're going to need to have 60 double crochets around, including that chain 3, and then join back to our chain 3. So I have completed row 11. We have a solid row of double crochet. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. And now what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 rows of solid double crochet like we did down here, so that you have 5 rows up here. All right, so 1 double crochet in each all the way around, join back to our chain 3 and chain 3. All right, so you're going to repeat for 4 more rows. Now this is how the bag looks up through row 15. We did that solid row, row 11, and then we did 12, 13, 14, 15, which is just 5 solid rows of double crochet. So we have 5 solid rows down here, then we have 5 rows of our granny stitch, and then 5 rows of double crochet up here. So now what we're going to do is 5 more rows of our granny square. You'll notice we're in a ways, and that's okay. And so now we're going to repeat what we did down here on row 6. All right, so we've chained 3. We're going to double crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2 and then 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. Now, if you made sure that you have 60 double crochets on row 15, then you'll have the right number in order for your granny square stitches to line up nicely. That's why it was very important that you had 60 double crochets on each of your 5 rows. All right, so we're just going to move on around. Chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet in the next 3, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. And again, join to our chain 3. I have completed row 16, which is that row of granny square style, just like we did down here. All right, so we're going to chain 2, skip those last 2 stitches, join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch in the next 2 double crochets, slip stitch in the chain 3 space, and chain 3. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat what we did down here. So you'll be repeating row 7, 8, 9, and 10 up here. All right, so that you have 5 rows of our granny square style stitches just like we did down here. All right, so you're repeating rows 6 through 10 so that we have those 5 rows of granny square stitches. I have completed those 4 more rows of my granny square stitches, and when you look at it, you can see you have 5 rows of solid, 5 rows of granny square stitches, 5 rows of solid and 5 rows of granny square stitches. All right, now you'll also notice that you've traveled when you did your joints all the way over here. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to slip stitch over here. All right, so what we're going to do is we've slip stitched in this chain 2 space. Now we're going to slip stitch in those next 3 double crochets, slip stitch in the next chain 2 space, and then slip stitch in that next granny square. All right, and we're going to chain 1. I should say the next, not granny square, but the next double crochet of those 3. All right, so you need to take a look at it. It's pretty lined up, but it's not exactly on the end, okay? So let's go ahead and slip stitch in those next 2, and then slip stitch in that chain 2 space and chain 1. And we'll take another look at it. All right, now that looks very lined up to me. And that's what you're going to have to do is just eyeball it, make sure it's lined up, and mine lined up with that chain 2 space. All right. So now what we're going to do for row 21 is we're going to single crochet. That's why we only chained 1. We're going to single crochet 2 times in the chain 2 space, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 double crochets. So we're basically doing what we did with our double crochets down here. Actually, it's down here where we had 2 double crochets. We're going to have 2 single crochets, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 double crochets, and we're going to work our way all the way around the top of our bag. And what we're doing now is we're adding this row of single crochets, and then we're going to add the rows for the handle, because every bag needs a nice sturdy handle. All right, so 2 single crochets in the chain 2 spaces and 1 single crochet in the 3 double crochets. And I'll explain to you what to do over here where we did those slip stitches when I get around there. So I've stitched those single crochets all the way around, 2 in each of the chain 2 spaces, 1 in each of the 3 double crochets. And that brings me to this small area here where I did the slip stitches. And basically you're just going to pretend like they're not there. So you'll stitch a single crochet in the 3 double crochets, and you're just going around those slip stitches. And then in that chain 2 space, you'll just stitch 2 single crochets. All right, and that will make it lay nice and pretty, and it won't even notice that you did some slip stitches. All right. There we go. And then we'll do those last 3 single crochets. And we'll join right to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. All right. And so let me turn this. This is how it looks on the front. And this is how it looks on the back. You can barely even tell where you did those slip stitches, but it got you over to the side. That way, when it's time to put our handles on this next row, everything's lined up nicely, and we'll be able to center our handles on our bag. All right, let's add our handles. So what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet in the first 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now we're going to skip 10 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we'll single crochet in the next stitch. All right, so we did 10 single crochets, we skipped 10, and now we're going to stitch 20 because we're going to have 10 and then 10. But we've already done 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, before you do your next 10, I take a look at it, make sure everything's lined up and your handle is in the center of your bag. All right, because we're basically going to repeat what we just did on the back side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and now we're going to do what we did here. We're going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now we're going to skip the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we'll single crochet in that next stitch, and that should leave us 9 stitches at the end because we did 1 and we want to have 10. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to join to that first single crochet and chain 1. All right, and so now we have handles on the bag, but these handles are not sturdy enough. So we're going to have to reinforce them a little bit. So we joined to our first single crochet and chained 1. And now we're going to single crochet in each of the single crochets, and then we're going to single crochet in each of those chains that we made for our handles. Especially if you're going to be using this as a produce bag or anything that's a little bit heavy, you want to be able to have a nice sturdy handle. Books, even yarn can be a little bit heavy. All right, and so as you can see, I'm single crocheting in each of the single crochets and then single crocheting in each of the chains for the handle of our bag. And we'll repeat this all the way around and join back to our first single crochet. So I have stitched a single crochet in each single crochet, a single crochet in each of my chains for my handles, and I still feel like it could use a little bit sturdier of a handle. And so we're going to go around it one more time, just stitching one single crochet in each single crochet around. And that'll give us a very sturdy handle for whatever we decide to put in our bag, whether it's just something light or something heavy. So we're going to single crochet in each of our single crochets, working all the way around our bag and our handles. I have completed that last row, and I like having that second row of single crochet. I think it really gives it a much sturdier handle. All right, so I'm going to cut my yarn. I've joined to my first single crochet. I'm going to go through the back and pull that loop to the back. I should say to the inside. And then I'll grab my yarn and weave this in. And now we have this beautiful bag with a little bit of sparkle in it to use for whatever we want to use it for. It can be a grocery bag, it can be your evening bag, an overnight bag. If you're just staying one night, you could put a few things in there. But it also makes a really great beach bag because it's got the holes and you can shake out the sand in those holes. And it's just a really, really beautiful big bag that you can hold lots of things, and it will be beautiful to carry just as much as it is to use.